Joining us on the broadcast is Major Muhammad Ali Shah. Sir, very good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast, taking the time out to have this conversation. I want to first start by asking you, as far as China's PLA upgrades are concerned, we've seen Tibet reinforcements, we've seen Xinjiang reinforcements. Now, what China is doing is that they're building container-based accommodations. Can you firstly start by telling us, sir, what these container-based accommodations could be?
Certainly, China, they have their own strategies in place. They have their own, they are too clever. They think 10 times before they take any step. So these container-based establishments, they are accommodations where, like, for example, Chinese, I'll give us one example. A few months back when we had, almost about a year back, when we had this conflict at Galwan, in fact, these people, Chinese, had not come in bunkers or trenches. They had come in the open, in tents, where obviously, so their intention is very clear, that they did not really, tactfully, if you look at it militarily, if you are coming to attack or if you are being prepared for a war or a conflict or a confrontation, you will take all preventive remedy and measures to protect yourself first. So China had come in the open, which means they thought that they will just come and shout something and twist their arms, and they will twist our tails and we'll run away. But that did not happen. We stuck to our ground and we gave them a fight. So Chinese, they are experts at psychological warfare. In fact, I would not be surprised if they even make, forget about accommodation, if they make dummy aircraft or a dummy submarine or a dummy ship, just so that the aerial mapping can actually sense them and report it as per satellite, and people perceive that China has got this equipment. So now when we talk about these accommodations, these are basically where, these are bomb proof. These are accommodations where people can actually, from where a proper war can be fought. But China does not really believe in fighting an active war, in bloodshed. They believe in winning wars without fighting, which means to break the enemy's resistance without fighting itself, without firing a single bullet. Like, the Chinese author, Sun Tzu, he wrote in The Art of War that the best victory is when you win a war without fighting, which means, like, that's what China is doing. Biological warfare, cyber warfare, psychological
warfare. Major Shah, now of course China is going to continue to send in reinforcements, continue to do upgrades as far as Tibet, Xinjiang, these strategic locations are concerned. But is this to bolster their army, but also optics for the world to see that they are not backing down? Is this China sending a message to India more than bolstering its army?
Exactly. In fact, they are trying to send a message, because that is what they play. They are experts at mind games, psychological warfare. They want to project much more than they have, and they want to send a message that, listen, prevention is always better than cure. So China is fearing right now, especially after the meeting of Quad and in the West. So they are thinking that perhaps a strategy is being planned against us.
And so very interesting that this, comes right after Quad, but also right after the Prime Minister's UNGA address, in which the Prime Minister very clearly mentioned that, no belligerence as far as the seas are concerned is going to be tolerated. So, is this China trying to save its face and come back, quote unquote, stronger?
Absolutely, 100%. And China they are leaving no stone unturned to flex their muscles and to show their power. And they feel like, if someone tries to harm us, we have a preventive measure in place. It's just to preempt the world from actually making a plan against China. But it will not last too long, because, ultimately truth prevails. And there is no doubt about the fact that China, yes, it is getting powerful. I will not, to be fair, yes, they are. I would not live in a fool's paradise by imagining that China is not getting powerful and they are not getting stronger day by day. They certainly are. But then that is the reason a pressure like this has to be maintained on them. Our Prime Minister also very rightly, in a very befitting manner, without naming anyone, he even mentioned about curbing terrorism. And we all know which countries, which nations are actually promoting terrorism directly and indirectly as well. So I think even if they can give out a message, China, through their psychological warfare, which they do not mean, we can also give out a message which we do mean.
Okay, so let's talk about the locations where China is constructing, these container-based accommodations. So, you'll be able to help us understand the terrain much better. As far it's near the Karakoram Pass, close to the hot springs. What is the territorial importance? What is the strategic importance of this location? So much so that China has now, decided to build these container accommodations there.
See, what happens, especially during winter, winter is going to be approaching soon. And it gets very, very difficult in that terrain to actually fight a war because of the climate conditions, the lack of oxygen, the terrain, the altitude. So now when you have container accommodation, it actually gives you resistance against the winters, against enemy shelling. It is like a bunker, for example. Now in a bunker, if I have to live underground, I would be protected at least from enemy shelling. I would be protected against various things. So similarly, China, they are, they also have a very big disadvantage. They can try container accommodation, they can try whatever. I'll tell you where they have a disadvantage. Because of the altitude because of which they are actually building the container accommodation, the altitude itself is such that when the Chinese aircraft take off, they take off only with half payload of fuel, which means the entire petrol tank is not full with fuel. So as a result, obviously, their sortie would not be complete. It would only be half a sortie. For example, if we have to drive a car from Delhi to, say, Mumbai and do about 1,500 kilometers, and if we have half petrol in the tank, we can only go to a limited place. Similarly, now when they even make container accommodation, they can do what they want. But at the end of the day, they cannot forget the fact that they are on an altitude where they have a disadvantage at the Indo-Tibet border, where the Air Force will go by half payload of fuel. Secondly, there have been Chinese generals who have documented and written books about the bravery of Indian Army and their high altitude warfare tactics of the Indian Army. So they actually fear us from the high altitude warfare. Because we are better trained than them, we are more robust than them, better equipped. Well, I would not say better equipped. Yes, China and Chinese do not lack in equipment, there's no doubt about that. But when it comes to a ground fight of a soldier to soldier, we've proved it several times. Shaitan Singh Bhati is a living example of that from Kumaon Regiment. You got a Paramveer Chakra. In fact, in the Colonel Babu at the Kilwan Valley last year in June, again a living example. So we have always given the Chinese a befitting fight when it comes to soldier to soldier. So only thing for them is now tactics without actually being on ground. And that is exactly what China is doing by making these container accommodations. Because of the altitude and the terrain over there, it is on a very high altitude, basically.
Okay, all right. So then, Major Shah, what China is also doing, so one is, of course, the container-based accommodations that we've just spoken about. What they're also doing is that they're carrying out night battle exercises in Xinjiang. Now, this is not the first time that it's happening. It's been happening over the past couple of months. In the past, we also reported that Xinjiang had sent in reinforcements, weapon systems, rocket launchers, tanks upgrades were sent to Xinjiang. So then why Xinjiang of all places? I mean, Tibet, as far as Tibet is concerned, China has already been doing this. As far as, the hot springs is concerned, as far as the LAC is concerned, China has already been doing this. But why Xinjiang now? Why this focus, why this obsession on Xinjiang suddenly?
Very good question. And now, exactly, see, let's give them their due to an extent that they are well within the right to conduct any exercise where they, as in their territory, where they want to, where they deem fit. Now, Xinjiang is on the location is very strategic. Also the Gogra, hot spring, that entire belt, in fact, see, if they let go of that area, they have let go of half of China, I would say. So why Xinjiang? It is because they perceive that to be a threat right now at the moment. Similarly, we also, if they think they are strong, we are stronger actually, because we also conduct our night vision exercises. We also have op alert, and we also keep our troops well trained. It's like a machinery. When the machinery is not used, you have to keep oiling it and keep using it. So Indian Army soldiers are all well trained, well equipped. It is the Chinese army from the other end, the fighting arm of Chinese army, which has a problem. And why Xinjiang? because they perceive that area to be a threat. For example, they tried playing a psychological warfare on Nepal last year, and the entire area of Limpadura, Kalapani, they thought if they take hold of that strategic area of Nepal, they would have an edge over India, but fortunately, that could not really happen. I mean, they were not successful in doing that in a very completed manner. So why Xinjiang? It is because of the strategic location, basically.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Major Shah, for joining us on the broadcast with all those inputs. It's always a pleasure.